How to cook a turkey fast and easy. Now, most of us have ran into an issue where we didn't do enough planning, and all of a sudden, Grandma canceled Thanksgiving because she met a rich guy. They're off to Vegas. Next thing you know, you gotta cook the turkey. I mean, I don't blame her. Gramps has been gone for 3 years, and she's feeling a little squirrely. Now, of course, the turkey is frozen, so the first thing we need to do is thaw it out. I've got a briner bucket. I leave the bird in the package, fill it up with some cold water, and then let it sit for a couple hours. After having that big chunk of iced turkey in that bucket for a couple hours, that water gets very, very cold. So I actually take and dump that water out and replace it with new cold water from the faucet. This does speed up the process, but you do not want to use hot water. After a couple more hours, then I take out the bird, remove it from the package, and place it right back into that very cold water. After about an hour or so, I take the bird out, put it on a pan, and try to get out the giblets and the neck. Well, this one was still pretty frozen, so all I could do is kind of loosen it up and then throw it back right into that pail. Now, this 14-pound bird took about 6 hours to thaw out. Remember, I need to cook this bird fast, so I'm skipping the brining process. You can do it if you want to. If you got a little extra time, go for it. Now that it's all done, it's time to spatchcock it. Yeah, I know, that's a pretty funny word. Spatchcock. Go ahead, take a second and giggle. What spatchcock means, you're actually gonna be removing the spine from that turkey. Flip it over on its stomach, locate that spine, and you're gonna have to use a good pair of kitchen shears to get through them bones. Turkey bones, they're pretty darn thick. Now take your hands and put it right on each side and push down hard to crack that breastbone. You want this turkey to be able to lay nice and flat. You can also go ahead and use your shears and clean up some of that mess around that rib cage. Also, look for any ice chunks because we hurried up and thawed this out. I guarantee you're gonna have a little bit of crystallization inside that cavity. Our last step to prepping this bird is we gotta season it up. I'm not injecting anything into this bird. Now you can if you want to, but I do typically, like on Thanksgiving, I'll go ahead and use some unsalted butter and inject those breasts. Our favorite rub on poultry lately has been Cock-a-Doodle Brew from PS Seasoning. It's a family favorite, nobody complains, so that's what I'm putting on it. You go ahead and put whatever deliciousnesses you want to do on the outside of that turkey. I do like to take the skin and remove it off from the breast a little bit and get a little bit of that seasoning directly on the meat. My opinion, it always tastes a lot better. At this point, you can put this turkey immediately into a preheated oven, smoker of any types, or if you're like me, use your Pro Max from Pro Smoker. And for all of you that are not familiar with this pit, it is a smokehouse and a roaster. We're not smoking this turkey, we're roasting it. Go ahead, if you have the Pro Max, you're gonna wanna set your temperatures at 180 degrees so you can get some smoke on it. You don't wanna be throwing that sawdust pan on a heating element running at 300 degrees. It's gonna wreck the pan. But I'm doing this video for a lot of you people that you only have a kitchen oven. And yes, you can spatchcock a turkey in a kitchen oven. Just make sure you have it on a pan because you don't want it dripping to the bottom of the oven and then making a big mess. We got it on a pan. We're closing in on that 300 degrees. Let's get this bird in some heat. There, it says 300 degrees. Perfect timing. Place it right in the center. I did put some probes in. This way I can monitor some temps here, and we want to get our probes into the thicker part of the breast. All right, there'll work for one. And I like to measure both sides because every pit will kind of have a little temperature difference from like left to right. Now, one thing I'll add, if you want to get it done a little quicker, you can run your pit at like 350 degrees, or you can even do it at 350 on your oven. I've never had much luck running a bird at 350 degrees though in a smoker because the skin gets a little darker than I want to. And remember, you're cooking this turkey to temp. So depending on what type of cooker you're using, the times are gonna vary a tad. But for the most part, if you run it at 300 degrees, you'll come in pretty close at the same time as I do. The next time that I open up this roaster is when this bird has reached an internal temperature of about 100 to 110 degrees. Then I'm gonna rotate that pan. I've reached an internal temperature of about 130 degrees. One thing that you can do to kind of darken up that skin is put a little duck fat on it. Oh, my timer went off. We're at about 2 hours and 10 minutes on this cook. It's starting to get a little dark, but it doesn't hurt to squirt a little bit of this on, because we are kind of looking for that nice golden brown. I absolutely love this smokehouse roaster. There'll be a link in the description below. For any of you that are looking for like a smokehouse that can do the lower temperatures for sausage, or you want to like do a prime rib or a turkey, this is the pit for you. I'm closing in on 160 degrees on both of these breasts. So for some of you that are using a pellet grill or an oven, you can go ahead and crank it up to 400 degrees for the last 15 minutes. That'll help you kind of crisp up the skin a little bit. But honestly, that's not looking too bad. We got a nice golden brown color, and the skin, it's a little crispy. And once I've reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees, I'm gonna shut off the ProMax, leave the door open so that turkey stops cooking. Then after 10 minutes, I'll close up the door and let that turkey just hang out in that pit for another 30 to 40 minutes. This will help all those juices redistribute throughout that turkey. The reason why I like to just leave it in the pit and not wrap it up with aluminum foil is that is kind of defeating our purpose when we want to get a little crispier skin. And make sure you keep all those drippings in the bottom of that pan to make up some good old gravy. For all of you that are wondering, we have under 11 hours into this turkey. Now there's no stuffing or anything like that because Grandma, she went to Vegas to get stuffed. For the most part, this is a doable turkey when you don't have much time to get it done. Over half of the time took to just to thaw it out. Nice and juicy. Oh, yeah, really juicy. We're not gonna get all into how to go ahead and trim this up. You trim it however you want. Presentation, you can go ahead and leave it whole and take some slices off, but typically around our house, we're just getting into it, cutting it up, and serving it on a platter. All that matters, it's drooling. Now obviously, you gotta try a little, and I want that outer breast. That's where I put the extra rub. Skin's not too rubbery, to be honest with you. This is very good, very fast, and very simple. I know my family ain't gonna complain. This thing's drooling. That's a nice turkey leg. Somebody'd be thrilled with that. Get a little of this dark meat out. Tender and juicy, and enough flavor. And I didn't even inject this. If I inject it, it's twice as juicy. Cutting board's nice and wet. Well, happy? Well, you know the thing. Roll the nation.